First and foremost, free the whole world, boss. I am your gracious host, Caspian Montgomery. Welcome, Gaza Nation, to another episode of the Vybz Kartel Show. Today, we will be breaking down the song Rocket to the Moon off of the TO TANESHA album. To the patois illiterate and Gaza Nation already knows that this is arguably my favorite song off of the album. So without further ado, teacher, please begin.
Even though you broke me heart like a CD, a bag of woman still a bubble to me tune. Think about you for a second or a minute, maybe two, but me still a live me life, have my baby and a wife.
Our great Gaza leader begins the first verse by telling Tanesha that even though she broke his heart like a CD, for those of you who are too young to know, that is a compact disc, and you can take them and easily snap them in half, and that's what she did to this man's heart. And then he says, that's okay, a bag of women still bubble to his tunes. That means that tons of women are still enjoying Kartel's music, so I think he's going to be fine in the women department. And then he says, yes, he's thinking about you for a second, a minute, maybe 2 minutes, but then after that, he still has a life to live, so he's going to try his best to get over Shorty, and he's going to have another baby and a wife. He's going to be able to move on. She's not going to be the end of our great Gaza leader.
If it's alright, I'm cool now, but more while, I'm stressed out. I miss you so much, yeah, you know now. If good men die young, I'm so cool.
One Dawn then says to Tanesha that it's alright, he's cool now, he is fine, he is getting over the relationship, his heart is repairing. And then he contradicts himself in the next line, as love can make you do. He says, but more while I'm stressed out. So most of the time after whatever happened between them, he's been stressed out. He's finally getting over it. And then he says he misses her so much. And now he is letting her know in audio form that no matter how cool he plays, how cool he acts, he still misses this woman. And then he says, if good men die young, he is so cold. And that means that the good die young, we have heard that phrase before. Well, then he is going to become so cold and make sure that he does not die because of this woman.
Look how much time my message up. Tell me send the message send. All I hear you but you that your line skill is excellent. You feel rule your estrogen. Girl, you burn me oxygen. So yeah, roll. King cool door.
The king of dancehall then says to Shorty, look how many times I've sent you a text message and my phone is telling me that you received the message, but when I actually talked to you, you said the excuse that your battery was dead, and that was the reason why you didn't receive the messages. And then he says, your lying skills are excellent. And that is just a powerful line, because women do have the uncanny ability to lie with a straight face. And then he says that you rule your estrogen. So he's you know, men have more testosterone than estrogen, and women have more estrogen than testosterone, and that, I believe, is the key factor on why we act so different in relationships. And then he says, girl, you were my oxygen. You were the reason he was breathing. There's no line that has more meaning than that. And then he says, so that's how you roll, but things are cool though. So he's saying, don't even worry about it. Don't fret. I'm over all of that mess that happened in the past, even though I believe that Kartel isn't actually over it.
You nah see no rope, me no lose hope. And you nah see no dope, weed my smoke. Me a heal my cope, but it's so slow, so slow, so slow, so slow, so slow.
The boss of all bosses then says, you will not see no rope because I am not losing hope. So this woman is not going to make him kill himself over her. He is not losing hope. He is staying strong. And then he says, you will not see any dope, only the marijuana that he is smoking. So he is not going to become a crack addict or a heroin addict because of this woman. No, he is still only going to smoke his marijuana, which I consider to not be a drug at all. And then he says he's going to heal his heart. His heart is going to heal, but the healing process is very slow, and he wishes that it would be quicker. He just wants to get over this woman, but apparently his heart is not repairing as quickly as he would like it to. And with that last line, we have reached the glorious chorus.
You put me hard on a rocket to the moon. I like a painting that they look me couldn't move. Something like supersonic interstellar flight. Out of target, out of sight.
This chorus is simply amazing. The rhythm is wonderful, and his lyrics are astonishing. And I couldn't say much more about it. I really do believe this is my favorite song on the album. He tells Tanesha, he tells Shorty that she ripped his heart out and she placed it on a rocket ship and then sent his heart to the moon. And then he says, one of my favorite lines, he says, like a painting in the Louvre, he could not move. And the Louvre is one of the most, it's probably the most famous art museum of all time, and it's in Paris, France. But I took two meanings from this. The paintings are so priceless, and the Louvre is so famous that once you are placed in the Louvre, you are not moving. You are stuck for life, and that's how his heart, his love is. He is stuck. He can't even move on. And the famous painting, the Mona Lisa, is in the Louvre, and people do say that the Mona Lisa follows you every single place you go. So he couldn't move, he couldn't escape, because like a painting in the Louvre, he cannot escape her love. Everywhere he goes, she is watching. And then he says it's something like supersonic interstellar flight, out of target, out of sight. That is where his heart is. It is gone now. He is cold. He is done with everything. His heart cannot be reached anymore. He has now put a wall up, and love lives here no more.
Sometimes I get so mad, babes, but most of the time it does. I kick it with me crew. We a live like say we a run. Thomas De La Rue, yeah, me make a bag of mistake when I was with you.
Mr. Palmer begins the second and final verse by saying to Tanesha that sometimes he gets so mad, babes. Sometimes, I believe he's talking about their previous relationship when it was early, and he says sometimes he would get so mad, but most of the times he was just kicking it with his crew. He was just hanging out with his friends, having a wonderful time as his career was beginning to blossom and blow up into what it is today. And then he said that him and his friends lived like they ran Thomas De La Rue, the De La Rue Company, which is a company that produces banknotes. It prints passports, among other things. So they were living like kings on earth. And then he says, yes, he made a bag of mistakes when he was with her. So he is admitting that he wasn't the best boyfriend. He wasn't the best mate at the time when he was young and his career was blowing up. But what do you expect when you are becoming a star in dancehall and in Jamaica? You are going to make some mistakes. So I forgive you, Kartel, and I hope Shorty does too.
Why now, I messed up, but more while, I'm stressed out. I miss you so much, you know now. If good men die young, I'm so cool.
Ardy, the innocent, then says that he knows now that he messed up. So he's reflecting on when he was a younger man, now that he is more of a grown gentleman. And he says, yes, he knows he messed up. But more while he is stressed out, he is still stressed out over losing the love of his life. And then he says, I miss you so much again. Yes, you know now. He is letting her know on the CD that he misses her and he is apologizing for his mistakes on his part of the relationship. And then he says, if good men die young, I am so cold. He is not going to die over this relationship. So he is going to turn his heart off and become cold, because only the good die young.
You're not give me no loophole, you never diss me. You swore we man I buy your new clothes, me buy my wife new things too. Brand new Porsche, the window don't even tint up. So show your insult.
The dancehall hero then says to Shorty that she doesn't. The dancehall hero then says to Shorty that she hasn't even gave him a loophole. At least she could have given him another way, forgave him and gave him another shot at the relationship to repair it. But no, she didn't do that. She moved on. And then he says that she swore that she would never diss him, but watch what happens in just a few moments. And then he says that her new man is buying her clothes, he's taking her out to eat, he's doing things for her. And Kartel also has a new wife, and he is buying his wife brand new things. He actually just bought his wife a brand new Porsche, and he didn't even tint up the windows, so Shorty could see his woman, his new wife, driving by in it. You should limo tint your windows, because I guarantee that will make your ex vexed. But he didn't do that, and then he says, so throw your insults. So she said she wasn't going to diss him, but once she saw that, the jealousy overcame her, and she started dissing Kartel once again.
Every girl knows say my name good out there, and when you see me flirting, you want get upset. But you don't have no time for you get upset. See the thing you left for us, so go take off there.
The GOAT then says, every woman knows that his name is good in the streets. There are tons of women running him down, and millions of women that would just like to go on a date or be with Kartel for one night. And then when Shorty sees him flirting, she wants to get upset at this, when he is the biggest legend in Jamaica, and she wants to get upset. I don't know why. And then he says, but you do not have time to get upset, because you are the one who put him in this predicament. You are the one that left him, and now you want to get upset that he is moving on with his life, and you have not broke the man down. And then he says, see, the thing that you left for NASA, his heart, you left that for NASA, and it's going to take off. And once his heart is on the moon, there is no coming back. He is now cold-hearted, and he is just going to become the gallus that he was destined to be. And with that last line, we have reached the end of another Vybz Kartel masterpiece. Thank you, as always, Gaza Nation, for tuning in. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We are over 10,000 subscribers now, so big up yourself, Gaza Nation, for supporting this channel. Remember, if you haven't already, to buy the album To Tanesha. I will not take up any more of your time. So until we meet again, it is Gaza, me say, forever. ever.
You put me hard pan a rocket to the moon. I like a painting at the look me couldn't move. Something like supersonic interstellar flight.